Hey everyone, welcome to Purpose-Driven Superhumans. I'm your host Raj. This podcast is all about spotlighting people who are living with purpose, whom we call Purpose-Driven Superhumans in the UbuntuVerse. I started this because I'm genuinely fired up by people who know their why and go all in. I'm on that journey too. So if you're into bold stories, deep purpose, and unapologetic growth, you're in the right place. All right, to kick things off, I've got someone really special with me today, Abhinav Ubuntu, the founder of UbuntuVerse community. He's the visionary behind this whole movement that inspired purpose-driven superhumans. His work is all about helping people reconnect with their purpose and live it boldly. The very first purpose-driven superhumans. Abhinav, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Raj. This is a beautiful start. And my friends, we are recording this at 5 a.m. You will know why very soon. Very excited for this journey. Very excited for this first podcast, Purpose Driven Superhuman. And I'm just the start. You will meet many, and you will be also in one of them.
So let's start with the very first thing that I've always wanted to ask you. What were the key turning points for you? How did you find these moment of clarity? And when did you realize that, you have to discover your purpose, you have to follow your purpose?
Hmm. Starting with the deep one. When? Oh, I think that maybe we all have this part of us who's always looking for this beautiful thing called why or purpose. There's no sudden demand for this. It's only that with the upbringing, with our understanding about the life from the society and the current system, we have been designed or we have been trained to ignore that voice and move on to a fixed pattern. For me, that pattern was get in because I was a mathematics topper in my school, get into an engineering track, get a job, lead a safe, secure life as an IT person. But that voice was always trying to speak. And maybe the moments where I was not having a lot of work, not having a lot of pressure of my job, where I had some free time, that voice was becoming louder. So on those moments, I started acknowledging first. I started testing some things, few things which I was told from inside that I think I should do this. For example, I got this thing that I should help people, I should work on nature, environment. So I started volunteering and testing things with small projects, small activities, and then started growing. The very first big thing which I can remember, which I think was a starting of me giving the power to my purpose, why, was when I was in my college. When I was in my college, I used to be like in a college, if you know engineering college especially, the life is like that you sleep at 3 a.m and you get up at 10, 11. So and then you play video games and do a lot of um, stuffs which we should not talk in the podcast, otherwise it will never be released. But yeah, those stuff. So when I was there, I was part of them and I was just like another engineering engineer there. But then there was one moment where the Facebook was new, and there were always some people sharing something, and somebody shared this photo of a child, and the child was from Africa. This was a photo from Africa. The child was on the ground, very weak, not able to walk, and there was a vulture just standing next to that child. And then I read the caption. The caption said that this photo won Pulitzer Award, which is one of the, I think, one of the highest awards in photography, by Kevin Carter was the photographer. And it was like that there was a famine happening in Africa, Sudan, and all those places. And this person was taking photography of those situations and problems of people. And this particular picture was selected for an award because this child was about to die, maybe because it was so she or he was so weak, and vulture was waiting because vulture only eat like dead animals or dead bodies. Vulture was waiting that the moment the baby takes the last breath, the vulture can consume the meat. And this photo was captured and won the award. And then I read further that Kevin Carter, who won this award, was further questioned by social media or other people that did you help the child after the photo was captured to reach to maybe nearby camp where the food was distributed? And Kevin Carter did not do that. Kevin Carter took the picture and he moved on to for another picture, another picture. But this question started haunting him, that in the moments where he was trying to be a best photographer of the world, he forgot to be a basic human. And that particular thing led Kevin Carter to take his life. And I felt like something has broken inside me because I have never seen such kind of mine or such kind of things happening where children are like skeleton and not getting food before. And the story of Kevin Carter, I could relate to some part because what am I doing for this? I'm also showing the picture right now, and maybe just sharing on Facebook will not help it, right? So I started kind of a campaign in my college, and I called it Save Few, FEW, Food, Electricity, Water. That was a campaign which I started, and I started it very anonymously because I was one of them, and I did not want my awakening and my efforts to go and be a fun for them. So I did it anonymous because everybody sleeps at 3 a.m. I put that poster at 4 a.m., making sure that everybody is sleeping and nobody is watching, so that they cannot relate that okay, you are doing it and you yourself used to waste food, let's say water, because I was one of them. And then that campaign got a great response. Still, many people don't know that I did that. But that's where I saw that we can do about all the problems we see something. And if that we do what that's something, you feel satisfaction, you feel peace, and then that gives you power to do something more and something more. And from that day onwards, I started doing something more and something more and then something more. And then I think the rest is the history, which we may discuss further in other questions.
How did this idea of UbuntuVerse, previously what we would call as Ubuntu, how did this come to you? And like, how did it evolve? Was it like a sudden thing, or it was a slow evolution, gradually coming up towards the idea of UbuntuVerse?
Yeah. So basically, many a time, whenever somebody get to hear this term Ubuntu, they guess that are you a coder? Are you somebody from software engineering or engineering background? And I'm like, how do you know? So they say, oh, because Ubuntu is an operating system. Ubuntu is a Linux operating system, which is open software, very popular among developing community. And then I realized that, see, while I was a software engineer, and I think I use Linux, but I was never about the power of Ubuntu or the source of Ubuntu. It was just a software for me. But later on, when I quit my IT job, I quit my IT job in 2013. So it has been 12 years that I've been working on something which I can call purpose. Why? Which has been also getting better in its understanding, in its vision is getting better. And the more I work on it, it becomes beautiful. It's like a tree, right? When you plant a tree, it grows and it never stops. Every day there is a new leaf or new flower or new bird or new something is growing, right? A tree is never stopping its growth. So like that is growing. And I think in 2019, when I already worked for a couple of NGOs and I worked for mainly for environment. And when you work for environment, you're working for everyone, because environment is where everything is existing. It's like the whole planet, right? So I remember that during my conversation with people, because I was mainly on the street talking to people, understanding their take on environment and telling them about what is going on and how can they create a change. I used to work for this very popular NGO called Greenpeace, and there I used to have conversation with people, and then many people used to ask me, "Where are you from?" And I used to tell that I'm from planet Earth. I live here. For me, there are no borders because I am working for environment, and for somebody who's working for environment, I do not have a box where I can fit in. That okay, I'm from this particular state, this particular city. I am part of this whole planet Earth. I may have been born at particular geography, but I am from planet Earth. I'm not from this particular place and not from other place. And that opened me further idea about inclusiveness, togetherness. But I still did not know Ubuntu till 2019. And in 2019, when I was figuring out the this question that I have been working for environment for so long, and I've been a minimalist. I was already a vegan for 4 years then, but I was still not somehow satisfied that what I'm doing is creating the impact which I really want to create. So what bigger I can do? And that time this Ubuntu story appeared to me. And then first time I got to know that Ubuntu is not Linux operating system, is a philosophy from Africa, which means I am because we are. And that thing gave me like what I wanted to do, what I wanted to say, what I wanted to create, gave became this one word Ubuntu. And then around that things started happening slowly. First I was running in Kolkata. I was at that time, so I used to run basic potlucks, bringing people together in that city. And then I saw that we can do that in more cities because everybody needs community, like-minded people. Because somewhere I found that when I was speaking to people, I found that everybody wants to be a reason for a good change in the society, but sometimes they lack the time. But mostly what they lack is like-minded people's community. That's the major lack, because once they have the kind of community who is doing what they want to do, they feel empowered, and the time is very naturally then available for anybody, because we all have 24 hours only. And in that period only, there are some people who are purpose driven superhumans, there are some people who are not. Then it is only about the mindset and the community. So then we started building community around it. And today UbuntuVerse community, which is uh, still a very on a nascent stage, and it's a power of so many people including like you. And we have a team of people who have been working on it. We are in 13 cities doing what we love, empowering people to find their why and creating a better world.
So this is one thing that I've always loved whenever we do at the potluck is to tell the Ubuntu story. And since this is the first potluck, this is the first podcast, and we are talking about Ubuntu. And the word Ubuntu itself carries a very very deep meaning as such. So how about you do the Ubuntu story for us on the podcast, because that would look amazing.
Sure, yeah. And that's my favorite part. I have told this story like innumerable time. Now I don't have any counting. Maybe 5,000, maybe around that number. Because this story is not a story, this is me. And here it goes. So in Africa, there is a village which is known as one of the happiest villages of the world. People there are content, happy, and they don't have these basic negativities or crime rates or any kind of violence. So when some anthropologist was reading this story, he thought that this story seems like fake, because in real life, even two people who live together and they have promised themselves for 7 births they will be together, they also have fight, right? They're in love, but they fight. How is it possible that whole village, whole tribe has never had these kind of incidents? So he decided to pack his bag and discover that if this story is a real story or is just a some mythical stories. When he reached to the location where this Ubuntu story was coming from, is a Zulu tribe, he was welcomed by small children of age maybe 5, 10, 12, who they were playing. And then when they saw him coming to in the village, they all came to welcome him like they knew him already, like their favorite uncle has arrived. You know, they were screaming with joy. And seeing their faces, this person was like surprised, because In our country, in almost every country culture, we tell children to not go near to strangers. They're not safe for you. Like, don't tell them your names and where you live and all that. Avoid meeting stranger if their parents are not around. But these children were fearless, welcoming, loving. So he thought it's a very new thing. But anyways, he's an elder person, so he should give them something. So he was carrying few chocolates, and he counted there were not enough chocolate for everybody. There was one box of chocolate. So he decided to do something which was maybe a smart move, that let's play a game, because in the game children will get entertained and the winner will get the box of chocolate. So he kept the box of chocolate where he was standing, and he asked all the children to stand near a tree which was around 100-meter away. And he said, let's do a race. The first one who will reach near this box will win the box. Children said, let's do it. Children were excited to play this game. And he said, one, two, three, go. Nobody ran, my friend. They all started walking, holding their hands together. They came together, they sat in a circle, they opened the box, and then they divided so that everybody eats it equally, and they were feeding each other rather than feeding themselves. They finished the chocolate equally and they screamed together, we all won! We all won! This person is surprised, just like how you are listening podcast are surprised or happy or feeling something inside your heart and stomach, right? They're like, what is going on? Is it a dream? Children not fighting for chocolates? It's not possible. And in that moment, some parents came and they joined the children as they were celebrating. And he asked one of the senior human person there, please explain me what is going on. And they said, what you are observing, noticing is Ubuntu, which is the spirit of this tribe, which means I am because we are. Every person is connected with their happiness and sadness. I am happy because we are happy. I'm sad because we are sad. One child, if it was one child winning, everybody will be sad, because children are not looking for coming first or having more. They love being equal, sharing things, taking care of each other. That's what children know, and that's what we remain, let them be that human, because rest of the world changes I am because we are to I am because I am. That first you and then others. But here we say there's no first and others. I am because we are. And with that story, this person went and then he tried to live Ubuntu. And I think I'm among those humans, like anthropologists, who was impacted with this story so much. It is like I had previously one glass given by society to me, and the glass was I am because I am. And this story removed that glass to me, and I wore the new glasses, which are like Ubuntu. I am because we are. And through that, I live my life. And I almost every decision which I make in my life, I have this kind of place to go back where I imagine what would Ubuntu people do, and I always get the right answer.
There's also one very good saying that we keep talking about a lot. Uh, I think it goes something like this: like whenever there's a situation when you have to be right and you have to be kind, always be kind, because being kind is always the right choice. And these are the things that keep me engaged so much, inspire me being inspired, motivated by you so much, that it brings a different joy to your life, that you hear something like this at 5 a.m. in the morning and you're like, oh right, this is amazing, this is a good thing to start your day with. Since we are building this up, there have been times that where you would have thought like maybe this is not the right path, or you would have had some doubts. So how do you navigate with that?
Yeah, obviously, I'm a human like all of us, and I have had my own moments of doubts, insecurities. Obviously, my ability to overcome those doubts and insecurities has been improving the more I follow the Ubuntu philosophy or my purpose. But I think the biggest fear which I had to overcome was coming from an IT background and being in a position where societies has a certain kind of image around you. Oh, like my parents used to talk with such a pride. My child is a software engineer. and he works in Bangalore. No, that kind of introduction was making them feel pride. They don't know, they did not know what is going inside me, right? But I knew that they are happy, and obviously their happiness mattered to me. But many a time we keep making ourselves unhappy because others' happiness matter to us, and in the long term, that never you maybe short term you are making them happy, but long term it will come back in some moments where you will make them more unhappy because somewhere you compromise your happiness for their happiness. I realize that if you take care of your happiness, you are a better human and you have a better capability of taking care of others' happiness. But if you take care of for others' happiness before your happiness, you are going to fail in that also, and definitely you're failing with your own happiness. So the first big fear was me moving from IT to this NGO job where I had to work for environment in Greenpeace, because my salary was going one fourth down, and my work style, sitting in an AC office in a cabin working on laptop, seems like a comfortable job, right? And from there I'm moving where the street is my work table. I'm standing in front of a mall or a railway station, and I have a folder in my hand, and I have to speak to strangers every single day, and I have to ask them can they contribute to this campaign, which was, well, in our society that kind of job is like begging. Standing on a street in front of a mall or in front of a shopping center or a railway station and asking people for donating for something is given like a begging. And I had to fight my own thoughts about it, that, oh, I am a software engineer, I'm from Delhi University, I have this rank, my parents have this feeling about me, and now I have to join a job which is, if they get to know, what will they tell other people? Then now my our son is a beggar on the street. Yeah, those thoughts are coming in my mind only, right? Because that was my upbringing and I had my own way of seeing life. But then, as I said, that there is a voice inside, which is, the more I'm giving attention to, is talking louder to me and is telling that you are not begging, you are saving the planet Earth. I mean, that's what the real job is. The real job is not to ask money. Real job is to make people aware about the environmental challenges and how we can make a better place. And obviously, they have to act. They have to do something. If they don't have time to save the planet, they have to pay for it. But everybody has to do something because this planet is not yours and mine is ours. You have to do something about it. So I had to change the way I define things for myself. And once I took that leap of faith and I joined Greenpeace, I think I was able to break so many of other fear which were going. I mean, I was like feeling so confident that, oh my god, now I think I can take on many other fear which are there, because this was one of the biggest fears I have I have overcome. And after that, it was like series of other fear coming when I was shifting from Bangalore to Mumbai, which is one of the costliest city in India, and I had to live there with one fourth of my salary. I was able to do that. Then move from there to another city. Then work on another project. Then stop my job at all altogether and go for entrepreneurship, where you stop earning money, but you have to invest a lot more money and time and energy. But I think the first attempt of me breaking that fear gave me the enough boost or enough confidence that I can take more such challenges. And then it was series of things where I was able to. And the more I took those challenges, the more I let my why speak and come into the reality in my actions, the more I saw ease of coming over any of these fears. So there are series. If we just talk about all the fears, it will be another 1 hour podcast. If I just talk about this fear and that fear, this fear and that fear. But the first one, which was breaking the shell, was that one. And then many. And every day they are part of me. And now I know that I'm prepared. They come to me, I talk to them, and I handle them like I know how to play. This is my ground.
What does being a purpose driven superhuman mean to you? How do you find or recognize these qualities in others?
So this term, by the way, came very recently, uh, because we started Ubuntu work, which was running potlucks, running Find My Why program in 2022, and at that time it was just Ubuntu Eat. we had this cafe in Kolkata where we were trying to make people aware about Ubuntu lifestyle, plant-based lifestyle, and other things. But then, in somewhere in this journey, I realized that why I feel such a amazing positive energy when I get up in the every morning. Like, I could see myself when I get up in the morning. I feel like this is the day I was waiting for. Not like, oh, Monday has come. That how usual people like, Monday, oh, this, oh, Sunday's finishing, oh, holidays over. Like, we are in that zone. I was in that zone also. But for last around 10 years, I have been in that zone that when I get up in the morning, another day to do something amazing. My energies are higher. I also realize that I'm not getting so sick frequently. I've been living medicine free life for last 10 years. So I saw a lot of benefits to my mind, body, emotional strength, overall energy. And then I was like, why? And the answer was also why. Why is the answer that when you know your why, purpose, you have this amazing infinite source of positive energy and positivity and longevity or immunity, whatever, all the positive things this purpose provides you. And that made me realize that anybody who know who knows their why will feel what I feel. And I just wanted people to feel what I feel, that immense peace inside in my heart, that disturb free sleep when I go on bed. Like when I go on bed, it takes me literally a minute or two to sleep, and people struggle. They watch the mobile and what the pills and try to have this music, that music, some kind of aroma in the room, and this tea and that tea to get the sleep. And for me, it just takes 1 minute closing eyes, and I'm gone. And I didn't get up at early in the morning. So I just wanted people to feel what I feel. And I asked the question, why do I feel what I feel? And the answer was, is why, is your why. And hence I created this term called then. So if somebody is why driven, purpose driven, they can feel like a superhuman, somebody who is happy and healthy and working on what is important. So that was the reason why we started calling people the people who are feeling the immense joy coming to their life and always have something to do which is making world a better place, and less of confusion, more of clarity, consistency, less of criticism and comparison, more of compassion, more of curiosity and learning. Those people are purpose-driven superhumans. I identified myself as the first one, which I know, and that's what very important, that we should know first ourselves. And then also realize there are a few more which I know through their stories, but I would like to create more, because maybe then we can have the world which I was envisioning, a happier place, a kinder place. So that's how purpose-driven superhuman started becoming more of a term which we use in our community. And everybody who feels what I feel every morning, every day, is a purpose-driven superhuman. And how you can feel that, let's talk about that also very soon.
So, as we rightly discussed, you are being the founder of UbuntuVerse yourself. You are the first purpose-driven superhuman. But again, we wanted to create a whole community around it because we want everyone to become this purpose-driven superhuman, people who follow their why and live the life like how we do, enjoy every single minute of it. So, regarding this community, how do you see this community or these relationships, these collaborations have played a role in your journey?
So if you I always see a tree as a beautiful example of learning about life. And if you see a tree, a tree once was a seed. What you're seeing, a big tree, once was a seed. And now that seed, because of getting, but the seed itself cannot become a tree unless it is given the right environment, right place inside the ground where you get the nutritions. And something to hold so that the tree can grow, right? So we all are those seeds, and I am still a seed, but I think I'm not just a seed now. By getting this right environment, which is the collaboration and communities, which has given me the seed inside me, a environment where I started growing this tree. And now if you see, a seed becomes a tree and gives the fruit which gives thousands of seeds, right? A seed creates thousands of seeds and then those seeds create thousands of seeds, and then this is like a forest, right? So this is how I see that, how a tree and how our life is. And this, we as a seed, we are impacted with the people we are surrounding ourselves with, right? There's a very powerful quote that we are the average of five people we are surrounded with, right? Obviously in college time I had, in school time I had those five people, in college time I had different five people, after that I had different five people, and then I realized that yeah, every time I was average of five people I was surrounding with. So I had two choices. Either I leave these five people and find the new five people, but that was more tricky, more difficult. So rather than finding those five people with whom I want to become a better human, I thought that what about if I grow my own average by working on myself? That will naturally will grow the average of people around me or bring the new people around me, because it is easy and it is important to work on yourself than always finding the outer sources of changes, right? So I started working on myself. I started working on my why. And if you see a potluck, it cannot be done with one person coming. It's an attempt of a lot of people who are like-minded coming together, bringing the food. So my first potluck in Kolkata, maybe 20-30 people appeared, and they gave me the courage and confidence that if these 20-30 people can come together and can find a space of being themselves and sharing that lifestyle, that thought process, what can do more? Then, if you see, when I was growing Ubuntu, the first program which we started, which is Find My Why, which we will talk about it later more. But that was the first online program we started. And at that time, I had this wild idea, but I couldn't do it if I did not have people who come and let me test. So at that time, I asked my community that I'm thinking about this something, and that time the name was not clear, but a program which creates purpose-driven superhumans type people, people who know their why, and I want to do it at 5 a.m. in the morning. Anybody up? And if that time, if nobody in the community would have said yes, I would have never got this courage to create this program. But I got 8-9 people saying yes, and when they said yes, I got this courage to test it again. And then that when first time another potluck started in Delhi, the second city we started, it was because our one of the member, Hema, in Kolkata, she was moving to Delhi, and she decided that if we can do here, why can't we do there? And she became our first community leader other than Kolkata, another city. And then she gave me another idea that okay, so we can create community leader and do this in many cities. So every time, every growth has happened because a seed cannot do anything by itself if there is no environment given, there is no soil given, and no something to hold given, to hold, and the water and everything works there, right? So I think we are seed and we are growing, and I am because we are. I am purpose-driven superhuman because we are purpose-driven superhuman. I'm surrounded with purpose-driven superhumans. My life partner Shreya, she is such an amazing purpose-driven superhuman, and her energy and her own, and she is a very different type of, like, she is a traveler and she is a blogger and she's a teacher, and that's what the unique, that as a purpose-driven superhumans we are very unique superhuman, but we connect and we share and we grow each other. So it has been a beautiful journey working with so many purpose-driven superhumans. We have right now, if you see UbuntuVerse, it was impossible to grow UbuntuVerse with our core team where you are there, Vijaya is there, Ankit is there, Bhushan is there, and many other volunteers, set of volunteers. I think I forgot the count, but maybe almost 100 volunteers have been working on a different project, potluck, city, this volunteering, that volunteering. And I cannot imagine the impact which is coming out of UbuntuVerse without them. It's not me now. It's I am because we are. I was a seed, and because of the right environment, which something was given by universe and something I only found myself the right soil, is now becoming a tree, and more seeds and purpose-driven superhumans are coming.
Indeed, and just to add to it, I've been vegan for a very a decent amount of time, but my first potluck was actually when I came to Ubuntu and to the cafe, and that is the first time I saw so many people in a potluck. And how does a potluck really work? How does it unfold? Because I had never attended potlucks before, and then I could see everyone sitting in a circle, sharing food, talking about their stories, and that was an eye opener for me because I was like, okay, potluck में क्या है? लोग जाता है, खाना खा के आ जाता है. But when people really, when you actually go there and you see everyone doing something that they love to do, and then they talk about it, it's a different environment completely. So Ubuntu has been my first potluck ever, and since then I think Ubuntu has been the only place where I've attended the most potlucks here. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. But tell me one thing, like because we are doing so many things, and just like you, even I've quit IT, and I'm also working towards my purpose, doing finding purpose. Yeah, like doing my why.
Yeah.
What I'm doing
Yeah.
is follow my purpose, follow my why. How do you balance it? How do you balance your everyday challenges? Because even while we live how we live right now, which is really very very satisfactory and very happily, but we still have to live around worldly things like money, and we have pressures. We still have expectations from different people. How do you manage that?
Yeah. Initially, I was when I left a lifestyle of earning X money to X by 4. That time it was the most challenging. But that's the beauty of humans. When we take the challenges which are outside our comfort zone, we grow, and then we become stronger. So that's very important part in anybody's growth, that you have to take some challenges which are outside your comfort zone. And there is a beautiful quote. There is a beautiful quote which was told by one of my mentors, Jay Shetty, that comfort brings self-care, discomfort brings self-respect. And it's so true. Every time you do something which is uncomfortable to you, discomfort, out of your comfort zone, you come out more tired, more worn out, but you have a immense self-respect for yourself, that you grew, right? And I think that was the first incident which I shifted from IT field to this field, and that discomfort was very very difficult. And also living in Mumbai, I've shifted my city to Mumbai, where people should only go to earn more or with more money. I went there, and there I very naturally, because of the situation, I had to learn how to be a minimalist. So I was there was a flat of in 2 BHK, and there were 6 people living in each room. Two people were sleeping, and they were not enough beds, so people were sleeping in the floors also. And I was the one who was also in no, I was not on the floor. There was a single bed on the side. I was on the bed, and that's where I started learning about how to share things and use resources mindfully. I mean, there's one single bathroom, and everybody has to get ready and leave in the morning, right, to their offices. And Mumbai is very much running rush. Like, you have to leave early so that you can catch the train and reach there. So start that environment where I had to put myself in discomfort started training me how to value things more, how to be a minimalist. Means whatever minimum you have, live in that. My salary was less, so I had to eat food which was not so fancy and spending, but I had to eat something which was minimalistic, taking care of my basic nutrition on daily basis, and that is available in India. It is available. I mean, India, you can live unhealthy with lot of money, and you can live healthy with less money if you are really looking for you know right path. So I was able to eat something not very unhealthy, because in Mumbai you can eat all the vada pav and get unhealthy. But I was making sure that I'm eating some uh, good healthy food, and there were some healthy joints where there were aunties, mothers who used to bring, dabba and some dal and homemade chapati and bhakri and all that. So, and 50 rupees also. So I had to find, and there are people who are going to restaurant and eat, investing 1,000 and still not getting that healthy food which I'm eating right now. So I had to find the ways of balancing my needs and getting away from my greed. I think 1 year time, Mumbai made me a powerful human by understanding how to live in minimum and enjoy the maximum. So from there, I think it was never turning back. I became a minimalist. I have right now, after 10 years of practicing minimalism, consciously trying to get better. I have just one suitcase, and every stuff which I own, which I need fits in that suitcase. So that creates kind of a personality of you who is able to take more challenges and risk, because the more the stuffs you are holding and you have to take care, you have, then obviously you will always be afraid about, if I take that risk, what will happen to these stuffs, what will happen to my big house, what will happen to my car, what will happen to my this, what will happen to that. The more things you are attached to, the you will feel heavy, like there is a bird who has a wing, but also on the feet there is a weight hanging right now. So you are trying to fly, but you cannot fly because there are things which are like tied up in your feet. So I started releasing those weights, and it was not like, initially it was because of the situation, because I had to take some discomfortable, uncomfortable actions. And then slowly it became an art, mastering an art of minimalism, taking care of your basic needs always. And you can take care of your basic needs, and for that you have you never have to quit your why. It is only when we are away from why, so we have to fill our life with external, the elements, like buying iPhones and buying bigger car or fancy dresses, going to fancy restaurants. These things, when you chase them, you are trying to chase them because you want to fill that cavity which is there in your life, because you are very away from your purpose. But when you are living your purpose, you are so satisfied and fulfilled inside you that you only focus on the need right now. Okay? Like obviously you need a comfortable bed to sleep. You have 3 4 time good meal to eat. So, and that those needs do not require for us to go away and do something which is away from our why. We can find. So I started finding better and better ways. And obviously, initially when I became comfortable in taking care of my need with X by 4, obviously then X by 4 with my own energy and time and effort started increasing with the time, right? Because anything you start and then you work focus on it, you will start earning more. Any art, any field, okay? You can tell me any field in the world and I can show you there are millionaires in that field. Any field. Art, there are millionaires in that field. Sports, there are millionaires in that field. Comedy, like stand-up comedian, there are millionaires in that field. Actors, there are millionaires in that field. I mean, tell me any field. There's no field where everybody is poor. Is people are poor because they feel poor and because they remain poor by living in the mediocrity or away from the why. I feel that richness is more about how you feel about yourself, not on what in your bank account. Because I have met people who in the bank account they have so much money that for next 100 years they don't have to work, but still they feel poor. And I know people who in the account maybe they have just money for next 2 month, 3 month, or maybe sometime only just for 10 days. But when you speak to them, they feel like rich people because they are very content in themselves. So this is an art which doesn't come by listening to this podcast. And when I'm just giving you how did I do it, and I quoted it: discomfort has to be respected and has to be taken, and then you grow this art. It's like growing an art of living with the minimum what you need and then maximum what you achieve. So after that, X by 4 started increasing and things were taken care. Me being minimalist, me being focused upon my why has made me feel richer and richer every single day. I feel I'm one of the richest human in the planet right now, Earth. Not because what I have in my bank account, but because what I have in my experience account, my life account, the things I've done, the things I achieved, I feel like I'm one of the richest human in the world. And with that, I continue my journey.
It's really inspiring, especially a person who comes from Mumbai understands what you mean by living in Mumbai and how expensive metro cities can be. So yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, Mumbai teaches you a lot. So we have been through a lot of things in a positive way. We have not suffered. We've just been through a lot of things in our life, and we have come to a point where I personally I wouldn't have thought that I would be sitting here doing this thing ever in my life if I would have been talking to my past self. So now that we can look back, we have the opportunity to look back. What's something that your past self won't believe about where you are now?
So if I have to talk about the past self, which won't believe where I'm now, it has to be before I took my first risk, which is when I left the IT. Because before that, my mindset was very mediocre. Okay, like I could never imagine being in IT that I will be living my why one day. Okay, I'll be inspiring people from all across all lives and from almost so many countries. People are the part of this community and they feel inspired. They're doing things what they really used to do, and I being the reason of that, I could never imagine being an engineer. Okay, at that time it was all about how much salary I can increase, what is my package, how much package I can grow, which country I can shift to, or go for short term trips for my projects, and all those things, right? But the moment I took my first leap, I started feeling like I can achieve so many things. And then I started having this vision of being a purpose driven superhuman and doing what I love. Okay, we say that in our community also, UbuntuVerse, that as a UbuntuVerse, like this is exactly how I achieved it. So hence we have created that as our why at UbuntuVerse says that we are here. The why UbuntuVerse is that we are here to empower everyone to find their why, and also find how we all can come together to make a better world for all living beings by doing what we love. And this is exactly how my life unfolded. I found my why, which was why 1.0, and then how I can do something, making sure that this world is getting better place for every living being. And then at that moment, what I can do. I mean, every time you have some limitations, so you do what you can do maximum, right? And what I love, that's very important. You should love that process. You should love that thing. I mean, I was working in Greenpeace, from an IT space, sitting for 18 hours to standing for 18 hours, my legs used to shake at night when I used to go home. Like, literally, I was thinking, what will I do tomorrow? And I used to go to bed and sleep maybe in seconds. But the feeling inside my heart was so beautiful that my legs are shaking because I did something meaningful today. That is what happens when you do something you love. Your tiredness and your weaknesses are not something to be ashamed about. You feel proud about them. I'm feeling weak today, I'm feeling tired today because I did something meaningful today. Because people feel those anyways without being meaningful, and that is the path which I was before. And then I think after that I took the leap of faith, and then I've never doubted myself. I got to know that I'm here for a very big purpose, and I have to surrender, follow my compassion, surrender, learn, not let the ego, because anytime the ego can touch us. Like right now, if I just say that I feel one of the richest human in the world, I said that sentence keeping ego outside the room, because I am still minimalist. I still own just one suitcase, and that's what I want to own. I still sleep on a simple bed. I still eat the simple meals. I've not changed my behavior. Okay, so now because I am feeling like riches, let's act like rich. No, no. When I say riches, I'm very, very specific about your feeling within, about you being rich. And with that, I think I trust myself. I have a very big vision. I have a happy version of myself which I'm working upon, keeping my head down, never forgetting my own journey, and just flowing like a river.
So I think this is very relatable for me as well, because somewhere in my life, after finding my purpose, I have been on the same almost similar route as what you took, and it has been liberating. It has been very liberating, and the opportunities that you get when you come out of this, uh, how do you put it, like this mediocre mindset that I have to earn, I have to have a comfortable life, maybe a home, a car, and being able to roam around when taking leave and then go ahead is, and the opportunities that I have right now are completely different. I do not have to worry about things as I had to before, and that's only because I do not like because I'm talking about personally about myself. I do not have to think about where is this work good enough? Am I doing good enough? Because since I'm already following my purpose, I know I'm doing the best that I can every day, and that will ensure that I whatever I do is fruitful. But that is because we have figured out what our purpose is. There are people who are still lost, who are still disconnected from their purpose. What's the first thing you'd want them to know, or what is something that you would advise them to do?
Yeah. And that was actually my. So as I was telling about that, I have Y 1.0. I had the Y 2.0 and 3.0 and 4.0, and now currently I'm living my Y 5.0, which is UbuntuVerse. But this UbuntuVerse 5.0 came up during a meditation exercise. So people meditate, and their meditation has become very popular these days, and everybody is trying to do some type of meditation, be it breath work, be it visualization, be it mantra. And I was running from meditation for very long, because the definition of meditation which was told to me is that meditation helps you in being in the present. And now, because I was living my why, I was always in the present, because mostly you are not in the present because you are doing something which you really don't like in the present, right? So when you like something what you do in the present, you don't have to put efforts in being in the present, right? So meditation of being in the present is for those people who don't enjoy the present. That shows, because meditation getting popular, that shows that how many people are not enjoying the present, right? I was enjoying my present, so I was never like I don't need meditation. But then there was another some podcast or some live by my mentor Jashetti, where I heard from him the meditation is not just about being in the present. That's one thing. But there's another thing which is like a beautiful quote, uh, saying that when you pray, you talk to the God, higher power, and when you meditate, the higher power talks to you, the God talks to you. And that became my inspiration. Wow, I really want to listen what this supreme power God wants to talk to me, this universe wants to talk to me. What is the bigger vision for me? And that's how I started sitting down and meditating to listen to the voice of the higher power. I call it download, especially in the early morning. There, one day I was just having this conversation where I was little down because we started our kitchen in Mumbai, and because of situations we had to close it down. And obviously when you do something with pure passion and love, and people are putting their love energy, money, everything, and then when that's get uh, shut or closed, you're human, you have to feel that pain, right? So I was not very happy, and I was like, why this project is got failed, things did not work, when our intentions were so pure to make world a better place. Because usually it is said that universe is always helping those people who are working for other people. But for me, that moment was where universe actually was going against me, because we lost money, we lost so many people, so many customers who were unhappy that they will not be able to taste the food of Ubuntu eat and everything. So I was having this meditational discussion with this supreme power. What is going wrong here? Tell me. I'm not seeing anything wrong here. Please tell me. I'm trying my best to let people know what is the right lifestyle, how to eat healthy, how to be happy through Ubuntu Eat Cafe. And this voice kind of appeared, which sounded like my own voice, and telling me that you are trying to connect people to things outside them. Save animals, save nature, save trees, save ocean, save river, air pollution, which is things from outside you. So you are trying to connect people to things outside them. But how will they ever get if they are disconnected from things inside them? And that was like, aha, whoa, wow. It's like that you see a big building, a big palace, which has given all the beautiful decoration from outside because of some specific event, Diwali, for example. The building is completely given lightings from the top to down, and everything is so beautiful. But inside the building, there is a room where there is a plug. Till the time that plug is not connected, it will never light up, right?
Right.
That is inside somewhere. We are that building. External, do this, have this, say this, but inside there's a plug which is not connected, my friend. So the voice kind of gave me this idea that you are failing because you are connecting people who are disconnected within. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's another level of situation problem which I have no solution for. But when you are given a statement, especially in the download meditation, somehow you are also given some guidance. So after that, it took me 6 months in sitting down with thought. I wrote down that thought, and I was reading some few books, and I was watching some podcasts, and I was attending few programs, 5 a.m. club, and everything started feeling like there is some kind of direction given to me with that thought. And then we came up with this program called Find My Why, which has become the best offering of UbuntuVerse. It has touched life of more than 2,000 people. The youngest one who attended this program is 14. Now we have teenage program also. And the oldest one who has done this program is 90. The program runs in Indian time zone 5 a.m., European time zone 5 a.m., US time 5 zone 5 a.m. All because of the volunteers and the people community. And if you think that you do not feel purpose driven superhuman, you feel the lack of why, or maybe a lack of better why, because maybe there is some why which you are living right now, but you're not satisfied with that why. There's a bigger picture, because there is a bigger picture, there is a bigger why. This program is an answer. I cannot do anything right now better than that, because I have done so many things, and I've seen that Find My Why program, which is 21 days, 1 hour every day in the 5 a.m. time, what magic it has done to people. I can promise you, if you surrender to this program, you will go closer to your why. I invite you. The program happens almost every alternative month. So you can check the registration on ubuntuverse.org. You can go there and sign up. You will be given the WhatsApp link for the next batch whenever it happens. And if you do that program, I will be happy, because it's my why to make you find your why.
Thank you so much, Abhinav. This conversation has been a reminder that purpose isn't something you chase, it's something you live moment to moment. And your journey with Ubuntuverse, our journey with Ubuntuverse, shows us that purpose can be both deeply personal and powerfully collective. Whether you're starting small or dreaming big, it all counts. Thank you so much, Abhinav.
Thank you so much. Find your why, live your why. Find my why is one way to find it. If you don't like getting up at 5 a.m., find another way. But you have to find your why.
So, for everyone else, wherever you are, whoever you are, stay connected, stay intentional, and trust your path. Thank you.